Well, I was in private accommodation and the landlady decided she was putting it up for sale, which was fine because I was informed that the new owners would let me stay. Unfortunately, when they took over, they decided they didn't want me to stay, and I was given more or less a couple of weeks' notice. At that particular time, I didn't know what rights I had. So as far as I was concerned, I had to be out. Obviously, I had nowhere to go. I had to put my furniture into storage and rely on friends for settees and the odd bed, which wasn't very convenient for myself or to other people. I was also at that time off work with a back injury, which didn't help. Well, I wasn't a priority case of going to various hostels because I wasn't fleeing violence, I wasn't pregnant, I had no children. The age didn't come into it. They gave me a list of hostels, which on that particular list there was 3 that I was able to get in touch with for my age group. Unfortunately, the waiting list for them was so extent that it was a case of, well, ring up next week, see if there's a vacancy, ring up next week. This went on for 4 or 5 weeks. When I eventually came off sick, I couldn't go back to work because my doctor advised me not to go back to that particular job. I went to sign on to job seekers. I was told that until I had a permanent address, there wasn't a great deal that they could do at that particular time. I didn't have a permanent address because I was homeless, so it was just one vicious circle. The lowest point of my life was when I actually had to spend one night in the Bradford interchange railway station. I actually had to pretend that I was waiting for a train coming in to meet a friend off, which were a lie, but rather than be thrown out into the streets. And I felt even vulnerable then, but I did have a shelter for the night, you could say, and that was the lowest point. I just didn't know which way to turn, who to turn to. And I was introduced to Helen, who the following day I was introduced to Helen, and Helen took me into her home and gave me a home, and I've stayed with Helen for just over 2 weeks, which during that time I was allocated a house, well, a flat in sheltered housing, and that was the turning point for me. And since then everything has sort of turned around and things are really looking up now, and I'm settled where I am. But had it not been for meeting Ellen, I do not know where I would have probably ended up. Ellen advised me to go to various places, and with her help and the help actually from the people of the church gave me a lot of faith, because I've never been a churchgoer as such, but it has given me a lot of faith, and everybody seems to be, well, just give me advice, where to go, how to help me, and from their advice and their help, I'm where I am now, basically, happy.